the previous class, we have discussed about how the water is transported from the roots to the upper parts of the plant. And we have already studied before that how water is absorbed by the roots. So in this class, we are going to study how the food is transported by the plants. Now we have already studied how food is produced. Food is produced during the daytime because of the process of photosynthesis. So food is produced during the process of photosynthesis during daytime. Okay, and the food is transported by a vascular tissue called as phloem. Okay, that we will discuss how the food is transported by the phloem. Now, the transport of food by the phloem is called as translocation. What is translocation? Transport of food is called as translocation. Now, not only food. Now, what does food means here? Food means here the food which is prepared during the photosynthesis, and there are many other substances which are also transported along with the food. So, you can underline from the NCERT the transport of soluble products of photosynthesis is called as translocation, and it occurs in the part of the vascular tissue known as phloem. Okay, so you can see here now the products beside the products of photosynthesis, the phloem transports amino acids and other substances. So not only the food is transported, but the other substances like amino acids also get transported by the phloem, and these substances are delivered or transported to storage organs like roots, fruits and seeds, and to the growing organs. So where the food is transported from the leaves to the growing organs to the storage organs like roots and fruits and seeds. Okay, now so let us discuss about how the food is transported by the phloem, or how translocation takes place by the phloem. Now let us discuss about the different parts of the phloem. Now phloem, as you can as you have studied about the phloem, it is having four components. Number one is sieve tube. Then we have second is companion cell, and then we have phloem fiber and phloem parenchyma. Now these the first two components are used in translocation. Okay, so the first two components are used in translocation, and this gives mechanical strength the fibers, and parenchyma, as you know, stores food. Okay, so we will be dealing about these first two components. Number one is sieve tube and number one is companion cell. They are used by the plants for transportation of food. Okay, now let us try to understand what happens and how the food is transported. So during the daytime when the sunlight is there, the leaves do photosynthesis and produce food. So in what form the food is produced by the plants? The food is produced in the form of glucose. So the food is produced in the form of glucose. But the glucose does not get transported. This is not the form in which the food is transported. The glucose then changes into sucrose. So how the glucose changes into sucrose? The glucose, two molecules of glucose join together One glucose joins with another molecule of glucose, and both these molecules join together to form a molecule of sucrose. Sucrose is a common sugar that we eat at home. So that is the sugar that we eat at home, that is the sucrose. Now as you can see here, this sucrose has to be transported from the leaves to the storage organ that we have already seen, where it is stored mostly in the roots, then in the stem also, in the fruits also, in the seeds also, and this can be transported to the growing areas also. So what we have seen till now, that during the daytime, what happens during the daytime? During the daytime, the leaves produce food with the help of the process called as photosynthesis, and this food is produced in the form of glucose. This glucose joins another molecule of glucose. So many molecules of glucose are produced. Two molecules of glucose join to form a sucrose. Okay, now this sucrose does not go automatically. It has to be pushed, or it is moved to companion cell. Okay, and then to sieve tube. So the sucrose is moved to companion cell and then finally to the sieve tube actively. Now this I am writing here actively. Now why, what do you mean by actively? Actively means here energy is utilized. Energy is used to move sucrose from the leaf cells to the companion cell, and then finally it reaches into the sieve tube. So now I hope you have understood this sucrose, where it is produced in the normal leaf cells where chloroplasts are present. What leaf cells are there? These leaf cells are present between the upper and lower epidermis, and then these from there they have to be moved to the companion cell. The sucrose has to be moved to the companion cell and then to the sieve tube where it has to be transported. Okay, so this is active transport. Movement of sucrose is active, means from the leaf cells to the sieve tubes through the companion cells. Okay, now let us move to the next portion. Now what happens to it? Okay, now after when the sieve tubes contain or get the sucrose, what happens now? Let us try to understand the structure of the sieve tube or the phloem, and this is, suppose this is phloem, and nearby phloem we have xylem. So xylem and phloem are next to each other. What does xylem contain? Last time only we have discussed that xylem transport water. Okay, so as soon as the sieve tubes get the sucrose, what happens? The water moves in sieve tube from adjacent xylem, the nearby xylem. So the water from here moves into the phloem. Now phloem already contains water. Phloem already has got water, but because the sucrose has moved there, the sucrose get dissolved in the water present in the phloem and the osmotic pressure decreases. So to maintain the pressure, what happens? The extra water moves in the sieve tube from the adjacent xylem. Adjacent means nearby xylem. So as a result, what will happen? The this sieve tube becomes high pressure area. It becomes a high pressure area. So it becomes a high pressure area. And you know that substances move from high pressure area to low pressure area. Then the food moves to low pressure area. What are low pressure areas? Like roots, fruits, seeds, growing parts. These are all low pressure areas. So as you can see here, as you can simply see here, that during the daytime, I will just revise and recall it again, that during the daytime the leaves produce food by the process of photosynthesis, and glucose is produced during the process of photosynthesis. This glucose joins another molecule of glucose and forms sucrose. So this sucrose has to be transported. How does it get transported? Is moved actively. The sucrose is moved actively to the companion cells from the leaf cells, and finally it reaches the sieve tube. Okay, now sieve tube already contain water. So whenever the uh, sucrose is coming there, what will happen? The sucrose will get dissolved in the water, and you have learnt in the previous class that when anything get dissolved in the water, water concentration always decreases. So the water concentration decreases in the sieve tubes. So to equalize the concentration, extra water moves from the adjacent xylem into the sieve tube. Okay, now already water is already was there in the sieve tube. So sieve tube contain more water, extra water comes inside. So sieve tubes, now it has got high pressure area. It has become a high pressure area. And then the food from the sieve tube moves to the low pressure regions. Okay, now one more thing you have learned about, and then what happens there in the what happens in the roots? Suppose low pressure area is there, the food comes to the roots. Okay, now the food is in the root. Root is a low pressure area. So the food comes in the form of sucrose. But the food is not stored in the form of sucrose. So sucrose is moved out of the roots, that also actively, and it goes into the root cells and stored there in the form of starch. The food gets stored in the form of starch, not in the form of sucrose. Okay, and one more thing is there, is that now during the autumn season the leaves fall. Then the growing region which are there in the upper part where the new leaves are to be formed, the food has to move upwards to the leaf. Suppose this is a leaf transport the food to the root. Now this leaf will fall off. What will happen? This will be the growing area. So the food has to move from root to the upper parts. So you can see here the food moves downwards into the root, and from the roots to the upper parts. Okay, so the food can move in the phloem from in both the directions, means in the downward side also as well as in the upper side also. So this is called as bidirectional flow of food. Okay, now let us see what is given in the NCERT. So what is the translocation of food? I will read from here. The translocation of food and other substances takes place in sieve tubes with the help of adjacent companion cells, both in upward and downward direction. Okay, so how does the food moves here? Let us see here. Okay, so what is written here? The translocation in phloem is achieved by utilizing energy. So let us move to the next page. By utilizing energy. Okay, material like sucrose is transported into phloem tubes, is phloem tissue using energy from ATP. Already I told you that sucrose is moved by using the ATP. So what happens when the food or sucrose is moved to the phloem? What happens? I told you, if you remember here, if you see here, then the water from the adjacent xylem, the water comes in the sieve tube from the adjacent xylem, and this increases the osmotic pressure. Okay, now let us see what is given here. This increases the osmotic pressure of the tissue, causing water to move into it. Now this line is not very correct, so don't write this line. First the food moves into the sieve tube, then the water moves into the sieve tube, and then the osmotic pressure increases, and the pressure increases inside the sieve tube. This pressure moves the material in the phloem tissues which have less pressure. So I have already told you that the food moves from high pressure area to the low pressure areas. As you can see here, the food moves from high pressure area to the low pressure area. Okay, now this allows the phloem to move material according to the plant need. Now what does this mean? It means that it can transport in the downward direction as well as it can transport in the upward direction. For example, in the spring, sugar stored in the root or stem would be transported to the buds. Means in the spring season, the sugar stored in the root will be transported in the upward direction because the buds will grow in the upper direction. Means the buds are there in the upper part of the plant. So this is about the transport of food in plants. I hope you are studying well. Thank you, students.